So I happened to go out to California years later. And when I went out to Cali, I met Master P on a plane. You understand what I'm saying? And at the time, my two sons, who were 6 and 7 years old, Free Quan and Freedom Unique, they was writing rhymes and spitting rhymes. Well, not really writing. I was doing the writing, and they was doing the performing. But my 7-year-old, Freedom Unique, he was actually, helping with the critiquing of the lyrics and all that at that age, at 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
When we started writing. So when I went to California, like I said, I met Master P on a plane 32,000 feet in the air, and I happened to have their tape in my back pocket. And so I approached him and told him about them. I told him that, listen, I said, I got 2 kids, 6 and 7 years old, that battle anybody on your own squad. He looked in my eyes, and like, at first he looked in my eyes on something, you gotta be kidding me, but he saw I wasn't kidding. So he said, listen, when this plane land, meet me at this door. So when the plane landed, I was knocking the shit out of people to get to the door.
Yeah.
So I get to the door, me and him walk out. We go to get a Walkman, because this was in 98. So we go to get a Walkman out the gift store in the airport, and they didn't have one. They had got rid of their last one or whatever.
Wow.
So we went to another spot, and they had it. So we bought it from there, and he was by himself too. Well, I thought he was by himself at that time. This is Master P. He was already 6 platinum, all this type of shit by the time I met him.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got the Walkman, put the tape in, he started bobbing his head, but to me, he wasn't bobbing his head hard enough. I said, I got some more shit, but it's in my bag. He said, where your bag at? I said, bag is plain. So we went down there, and we got the tape, and as soon as he heard the first couple bars, he was like, yo, let me have this. And I never was the type to give away my music, not to nobody, not to a president. That was one of the reasons I didn't have a deal, because I just wouldn't.
Of course, you weren't willing to really just not compromise, but just give something up like that in a sense.
I wasn't willing to separate from my music, so wherever my music went, I had to go. And so at this time, he was like, yo, let me get this. As soon as he heard the first couple of bars, and I looked at him, put my head down, I was huffing and puffing, and I just passed it to him. I was like, yo, just keep it real with me. And he gave me his number and everything. He said, yo, call me tomorrow around 12 o'clock LA time and all this. So, the next day I called him and shit, he ain't pick up. I'm like, here we go with this sucker shit, you know what I'm saying? Then he called back. He's like, yo, come downtown, LA, come right over here, blah, 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 blah. So me and my man jumps in the hoopty. We hit Crenshaw and Slauson over there where Nipsey Hussle got, C-Stat and everything. So we hit Crenshaw, Slauson, we drove out, got on the highway, we went downtown. When we got down there, we pulled up, and this guy came out and shit. We didn't have cell phones back then, unless they were illegal, you know what I'm saying? So the guy came downstairs and he held the car down and told us to go upstairs to like the 16th floor or something like that. As soon as we get up there, we see pictures of Ice Cube and Hove. It was Priority Records.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so now, all we seen all them pictures, now everything was Master P. No limit. Like, oh, shit, this guy owned this fucking office. So we get in the office, and Master P told me to play the music that I had. So I threw the music on a big system that they had. It was a big round table, and there was about 12 people in there sitting at the table, and him.
Okay.
And me and my man. And so I put the tape in. It was rocking. You understand? They listening to a 6 and 7-year-old.
Yeah, I've got a vision. I'm visualizing it in my head as you go on, but continue, bro.
Right. So they rocking a little bit and shit, but to me, it's not enough. They not rocking hard enough. So I shut the music off, and I was like, listen, I called them right now. I said, yo, y'all got a speakerphone? They said, sure. So I got on the speakerphone. I'm calling them, And I called them and shit, and they was on the east. I called them, I'm like, yo, peace. And they was like, peace, Pop, this, that, and the third. And after they said that, I said, yo, I got Master P here and stuff like that. They had saw me watch his I'm About It movie before, so they kind of knew who he was.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he had the I'm About It joint out at that time. So when they said peace to him and everything like that, he laughed because it was like these little boys sound so militant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they was just had knowledge of self at that age. So they said peace to him and everything like that. And then I said, yeah. I said, yeah. And I said, listen, hit this joint, Free Quan. And Quan hit the joint. He hit the joint. I said, stop. As soon as I said stop, he stopped on the dime. Then I said, yo, Akeem, which is Freedom Unique, I said, yo, hit this. And he hit it. Blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, stop. He stopped on the dime. Then I went back to Free Quan. I said, Free Quan, hit this. Blah, 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 blah. He hit it. Then I said, stop. He stopped. Then I hit it, Freedom again. He did it. Then when I hit Free Quan for the third time, I said, yo, what's your age? And he, at the time, he was with me, so he don't really speak normal. He not going to say 6 years old. He said equality years old. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm equality years old. Pop, you know how old I am. He got smart with me on the phone, and they start laughing and shit. But they didn't understand what equality years old meant.
They didn't get the science on that, yeah.
Right, they didn't catch it, you know what I mean? So then I said, yo, what's that age in other terms? And he was lost. He's like, what do you mean, other terms? You know what I'm saying? We speak mathematics. I said, what number is that? And he said, oh, I'm 6 years old. And their mouth dropped to the floor. They didn't even have to get to his brother. As soon as they heard, because the shit he was spitting, you know what I mean?
Of course.
If you listen to the Little Soldier album and you hear some of the shit he was saying.
Well, I was going to ask him, because I know we heard a lot of the stuff on the Little Soldier album, and we can guess that was the energy and the essence that the Little Soldiers were coming with from before, because like everybody at No Limit, they had their own unique sound and their own unique stuff that they rapped about. Nobody else wasn't really putting things together how they did at the same time. So
nah, they was lyrical. They was East Coast too. That was the difference. We was the only group from the East Coast, so we didn't have the down south slur. We didn't have the down south slang. We had straight bars, straight lyrics.
What was that like going into like a label like No Limit with so much, MCs? Definitely share of lyricists in its own right. Some, greater than others when it comes to lyricism and stuff. But coming in from the East Coast, and especially from, the mecca of like hip hop and stuff like that. And was you well received? Because if I remember right, y'all were the first real East Coast artists with No Limit, right?
We was the only East Coast artist with No Limit. The only East Coast shit they had did before that was with Foxy Brown.
Okay, yeah, to get the party started, yeah.
Yeah, they had some Foxy Brown with me at X and P on it. You know what I'm saying? So we was the only joints out there. And initially, I wasn't signing. I had, put everything into my sons. I wasn't signing. So this was only Little Soldiers you're talking about. They didn't hear me rhyme at all. It was my son. And so they received us well because they saw two little kids at them ages, 6 or 7 years old, who was not playing. They wasn't talking about no big money and all this. They was talking about school. They was talking about homework. They was talking about cleaning their room. They was talking, but it was put in such an elegant, lyrical, hip-hop way that you can't deny it.
Of course.
And so...
and they gave a lot of perspective for the young generation, even just talking about what it was like growing up in certain communities, having certain experiences, and really getting into the psyche of a young black child growing up.
Right. You know what's funny? That today is April 27th, right?
Yeah.
And April 27th is when the Little Soldiers Boot Camp album actually dropped. So it's funny that we're on this conversation right now. It's really, this is how mathematics don't lie.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
1999, April 27th, this day right here today is when the Little Soldiers Boot Camp album dropped.
Wow. Peace, family. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check us out on aboutthatonline.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook for exclusive playlists and social media for all different types of segments and content.